Okay, we're looking at the A10. The A10 has no flight pack batteries installed. The throttle red wire is disconnected. We are providing power to the receiver through this Castle 10 amp BEC, isolated to this battery pack 3S, providing 6 volts to the receiver, as you can see. Okay, I'm going to move things out of the way so that you can see clearly what the lights do when I plug the battery in to power the receiver. The transmitter is turned on for this aircraft, the A10 AS3X. It is in flight mode 1, which means that there are no gyros involved. And here we go. I will plug in the black wire. The red's already connected. And you can watch what happens. Bind, red light, and green light. And we'll sit here and we'll watch for a minute. The RPM sensor, by the way, is definitely connected. As you can see, it's coming out here. I'll show you in a minute. And by the way, everything is working. Obviously not the motors, because the flight pack battery is not connected to try and isolate any ground loops. The only ground that I have is from the battery pack to the receiver. Now, I'm going to, here's the RPM sensor right here. I'm going to show you what happens. Hopefully you can see. You can see that the receiver just reset. I didn't touch anything, and it just reset all by itself. Now it's back bound again. It just rattled the flight surfaces. Now watch what happens when I touch the RPM sensor. As soon as I touch it, it shuts down and restarts, rebinds, and I'll touch it again so you can see. Here comes my fingers in to touch it, and I don't even have to touch it, just get close to it, and it shuts down. And so there are no ground loops possible here right now. Nothing except this battery, and this battery eliminator is actually functioning as a voltage regulator because that's a 3S battery. So it's set for 6 volts. It just resets itself. It just did it again. As you can hear, it rattled the control surfaces. And it'll do it again just sitting here idle by itself. It just takes a little bit of time, but it will do it. It'll reset every time. While it's connected, everybody's working okay. It can sit here a long time like this until I come anywhere near that. Right there, now it just reset. I did not touch the RPM sensor. All I did was move my cell phone so that you could see the video better, and it reset. I can make it reset really quickly now that it's up. All I have to do is go over here and come anywhere near that RPM sensor. You can hear my landing gear just came down when it did that, probably because the receiver got confused by the power going down. But it's taken it down. Now I'm going to unplug the RPM sensor from the receiver, and we'll see what happens then. Okay, receiver's bound, everything is there. RPM sensor's not plugged in. I can bounce the airplane. Everything stays up. All the control surfaces work just fine. Nothing goes bad ever. Everything's just fine. Not a problem, not an issue, as long as the RPM sensor is not plugged in. I hope this helps. I don't know what to tell you. I can't see any possible ground loop here. This is the connector for the built-in battery eliminator circuit in one of the two 100 amp Hobbywing ESCs. There is a backup battery here for in case we ever lose any power from the BEC. It'll kick in as a Scorpion backup. It's not connected. Nothing is connected to the receiver at this time, or has it been through this whole video. And so I can't see any possible ground loop here. The issue is with the RPM sensor, and I have no clue what the deal is here, because I don't even have to touch the RPM sensor, just come close to it, and it takes the receiver power down. So there you go.